Hi, I'm Kevin McGeary, regular contributor to Hannah's Bookshelf, and today I'm going to try to talk about 6 books, 3 fiction, 3 non-fiction, which I read in the past month. So I'll start with Seascraper by Benjamin Wood, which has been the darling of awards bodies. A very short book, a novella really, praise for its line-by-line writing. So here's a passage I really liked. Down the years, he's sharpened his awareness of what's bluster and what's truth. It's usually the men who talk like factory chimneys, huffing out their words in spumes that have no substance to their claims. And these are normally the types who fool his ma to parting with the final shilling in her purse before they disappear. This fella has that way about him. So we all know the type. Second work of fiction, Room on the Sea by Aciman. So here's a great clip. Each boasted how vital was his service to humanity. I protect people's spirits, said the shrink, and I protect their rights, countered the lawyer. Yes, but I can turn the soul around, snarked the shrink, and I can twist the law whichever way I please, spat the lawyer. In the end, the barman who'd grown tired of their grandstanding reminded them of one filthy trait they both shared. And what's that, they asked. You both get paid to hear people lie to you, he replied. So those were 2 very short books, both novellas. Now to a very long book, A Schooling in Murder by Andrew Taylor, which is narrated by a dead person, a murder victim. So it's same as The Lovely Bones, a book that was also narrated by a murder victim. Here's a quote. These were just words. They couldn't hold the essence of Enid Archer any more than a net can hold water. So I wouldn't give any of those books more than a 7 out of 10, but that's just me. So to non-fiction, I'll start with Quartet for the End of Time by Michael Symmons Roberts. It's about the masterpiece by Olivier Messiaen, Quartet for the End of Time, which was famously first performed in a prisoner of war camp in 1941. Here's a quote. Messiaen seems closer to T.S. Eliot's favourite approach, set out in his essay on Blake. That truly innovative work comes most forcefully from an artist grounded in a theological or philosophical tradition, so they don't have to spend the work's imaginative resources constructing their own set of beliefs. So that's a really good insight, because the two of the great world builders of the past century, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, were both devout Christians, churchgoers. They built their own worlds, but they didn't build their own set of morals. Next one, Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yiyun, or Yiyun Li. So a Chinese-American author who attempted suicide, and later 2 of her sons both committed suicide while late teenagers, several years apart. So, and she came in for a lot of hatred for it, but that was the least of her worries. So here's a quote. I've known people in China and in America who treasure their malevolence, who revel in the pain they inflict on others. Whether they do this out of profound unhappiness or a profound delusion of power, or both, I don't know. What I know is that they cannot be helped and they cannot help themselves. And she tells a really interesting anecdote about a friend of hers who had also committed suicide. He was sensitive, fragile, proud, and lonely. But how else could a boy of artistic and soulful temperament be? Ask Chopin, ask Rimbaud, ask Vincent, her son. So if you think the life of a successful novelist is an enviable one, think again, because Yiyun Li has suffered more than most people could possibly imagine. 2 sons committed suicide. And the last work of non-fiction is House of Huawei by Eva Do. So Huawei is one of the most mysterious, controversial, and secretive companies in the world. So it's been the subject of a fierce debate in the UK about what we should give them access to. And here's a quote from the end. Huawei is a company made in the image of its nation, in all its fearsomeness and flaws, in all its courage and poetry. So I learned a lot about Huawei. So I spent 4 years at a massive Chinese company, but I wouldn't say I was in charge of internal and external communications, but there was a heck of a lot about it that I didn't know. So, because Chinese companies are like entire worlds, they're impossible to really understand. So I don't read many business books, but I got a lot out of this one. So House of Huawei by Eva Do, which won Business Book of the Year in 2025, was shortlisted for it.